Hey guys, Ultimate Toy Collector here. Today we're going to take a look at Hasbro's new 6-inch Marvel Legends X-Men wave. And first, let me start off by thanking Hasbro and their PR team, Litsky PR, for sending these our way. We really appreciate it, especially considering we are huge Marvel Legends fans. This wave I've been anticipating. It's probably going to be one of my favorite waves of 2019, especially this early on. When I found out that we were getting Gambit and Jubilee, Beast, even Weapon X and Blink, I was really excited. A lot of these figures I had way back in the Toy Biz days, when the figures weren't even super articulated. So this is like the first time some of these figures are even seeing a big upgrade to what I had as a kid. So thank you, Hasbro, for sending these our way. What you guys see here is the packaging art, which just looking at the boxes itself, I think is amazing. Without even opening the packages, I really, really love the package art here. So you see we have Blink, Forge, Gambit, Beast, Weapon X, Jubilee, and Skullbuster, one of the Reavers. And if you guys have been following any of my interviews with Dwight at New York Comic Con or Toy Fair over the past couple years, he slipped in there that, you know, one of his favorite villain teams that he'd like to do would be the Reavers, and he's slowly but surely packaging them in, and you know, hopefully we'll be able to complete the whole team eventually. Obviously, they can't give us the whole team of any team right off the bat, because then you won't have anything else down the road. But slowly but surely, we're completing the 90s X-Men blue and gold teams, and we have some other ones like Blink in here, and we've seen a few other things. So even like X-Force and X-Factor, we're slowly building and completing teams, which I think is phenomenal, because I'm an old school fan, or, you know, I would say old school like back in the 90s. That's one of my favorite eras of the mutants, the X-Men. So let's take a look at the figures in package. And first, if you guys don't already know, sorry about that, I bumped the camera. These figures, the Build-A-Figure is Caliban, and you see right here we have Caliban. Now we have 7 figures in the wave, only 6 of them are needed to complete the Build-A-Figure. So Gambit is double packed in the box. So you got 2 Gambits in each case. He's such a dope figure that why not make him 2 anyway, because people are going to buy him. But he does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece. You just need the other 6 figures to complete your Caliban figure. So first up here, we have our 90s era Jubilee. She comes with an alternate head with her signature, you know, bubble. You know, she's always chewing her bubble gum there, popping bubbles. We have Weapon X, Logan in his Weapon X attire. This is a classic version if you are, you know, a huge Logan fan, and all we need is like a little chamber for him to pop out of. Now this was a big you know, thing for collectors. This is a updated Beast. The old Toy Biz Beast, which was in the Marvel Legends line. The face was kind of wacky. The articulation was pretty good, but this is a very good replacement. We know Diamond Select Toys did put out a Beast late 2018, but it doesn't scale with the figures. So this is the next opportunity for people to complete their black and gold teams with Beast, and we're going to see how he plays out. One of my favorite mutants, Gambit. Looks phenomenal. You got the trench coat. And yes, this is kind of like a recycled, you know, the coat. We've seen it on, who have we seen it on? We've seen it on Nick Fury, I think. We've seen it on Blade. We've seen it on Red Skull. We've seen it on a few figures, but looks proper on Gambit. I do wish that it was soft goods, but the molded coat is still good for me. Now, this is the first time that Forge has been given the Marvel Legends treatment. I still remember the old Toy Biz Forge. That was one of my favorite figures. I think he had like the quick draw action, taking his like gun out of his thigh holster. So this is definitely one of my favorites in this wave. He's always been one of those members of the X-Men and some of the other teams that might not have gotten too much shine, but he was always one of my favorites. Blink. This was a nice addition to see. Now, I think one of the reasons that we did get Blink was from the show, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the show right now. Gifted. There we go. The Gifted was on. It ran for 2 seasons, and one of the main characters was Blink. She had her teleporting powers, and she had like the elf ears and the little scar on the eye. She was not pink, but her hair at times was like a purplish color. Now, so I think this is one of the reasons why Hasbro might have chosen to include Blink in this line, because now people are familiar with the mutant name of Blink, and she'll probably sell pretty well. And then, of course, some of the older fans of the Age of Apocalypse and the X-Men stories know who Blink is, so we'll naturally pick her up. I know Blink is one of my daughter's favorite characters on the show, and she actually likes the figure as well. And last but not least, we will take a look at Skullbuster. Now, I'm not too familiar overall with the character, so let's see on the back here. All it simply says is, an enemy of the X-Men, the cyborg Skullbuster is a member of the villainous gang called the Reavers. So, yeah, that's pretty much all we got for him. But you do have an alternate head. So I've seen a couple customs where people have already swapped those heads onto other bodies to start to build their Reaver crew. And obviously, if you buy 2 of these, you can just have 2 of the cyborg bodies with different heads. And as I said, each one except for Gambit comes with Caliban's Build-A-Figure piece. And this is not the original version of Caliban. This is more, I guess you could say, like the 90s version of Caliban, which I think is really cool. And again, there has not been a Marvel Legends version of Caliban. The last Caliban figure that I think was made was also right pre Marvel Legends, when Toy Biz still had the license, which I do have. He's got the chomping jaws and the arms that move up and down. When I do go through some of my figures and find that, I will do a comparison side by side. But again, that was one of my favorite figures, just like Forge and Weapon X back then. And I'm glad to see him get his Marvel Legends due. All right. So if anybody's looking for him, you could just pull up one of the UPCs and you should be able to track it down. Now, these figures were street dated, I believe. Well, some stores were breaking the street date on it, and they were hitting stores and being sold, but they were street dated for May 1st. I've seen them being found in Target, Walmart, Walgreens, and Best Buy now. They're actually listed online. So you pretty much can find these almost anywhere if you're looking. They shouldn't be too hard to find, but they are hitting stores, like I said. And so let's open these up and take a look. All right, so here we have our 7 figures out of the package. As I said, this is quite possibly my favorite wave for 2019 so far. And I really only have, I'd say, one complaint My complaint is that the plastic that they used feels a little too, what's the right word? Brittle. It's a very kind of soft plastic, and it's some of the figures. Um, it just feels like over time it's gonna warp. When I took Gambit out of the package, from the way his knee was bent in the package, I kind of had to play with it a little to straighten it out, and even Wolverine, even Weapon X a little bit. I kind of had to just kind of try to straighten it out a little bit. And if you look right here, you can still see like a little space between the joints. And I feel like that's because of the type of plastic that they used. Now, I'm not sure why or what it is. That's just my personal opinion. As far as the figures themselves, the sculpting, the paint apps, pretty much everything else I think is spot on. Again, this is one of my favorite waves, and the plastic quality. I'm not gonna really take that away from what the wave is itself. For you men on card collectors, you'll never see the difference in the plastic, so it really doesn't matter. Um, the figures come with a good amount of accessories. Some of them, others just come with an alternate head or just a pair of hands. But let's start on the figures. So first up, we're going to take a look at Jubilation Lee. All right, now this is Jubilee in her 90s outfit, I would say. Even kind of close to like her animated X-Men animated cartoon. And we did get that Jubilee Build-A-Figure a couple years back. That was more of the modern Jubilee, I believe, when she was like vampire, half vampire, or whatever. This is more of that classic, that X-Men blue and gold. And it looks pretty dope. And you see right there, Beast decided to just fall over. We're going to leave him for right now. As far as Jubilee, she's got her signature yellow coat. Just focus on her a little. She's got her signature yellow coat. She has her glasses with her short dew. Now, the only thing that I think Hasbro could have given us that they didn't was maybe like those Dazzler effects. Because let's face it, she's about as useless as Dazzler is in most fights. You know, she just throws out some flashy lights. But yeah, if they had a little special effect that could have been given to her, that would have been cool. You know, something you could put on her hands. I'm sure they didn't want to reuse the same effect that they used for like Dazzler and stuff like that. But that probably would have been cool. Anyway, as far as articulation, let's see. You know, she has some wrist articulation, hand articulation in there, elbow articulation. Now her articulation is cut off at the elbows because her jacket is rolled up there, obviously. But they did a nice job where the jacket comes down right to the elbow, and then that's where the joint meets. As far as her head, she has good range of motion. You can actually turn all over the place because you can pop off her head, and I put her other pair of glasses, and I just dropped them. All right, hold on. Now her head is a little stiff going on there. All right, I got her glasses. Let's just try to get this on because it's very, very stiff. All right, so I don't know about you, but one thing that I would do is I would warm up the hole here, the socket, before you put the ball joint in there, with like a blow dryer to try to put the head on, because otherwise I'm afraid if I keep pushing on it too much, I'm going to break the bubble off her mouth. Now she comes with 2 different pairs of glasses for this head. I'm assuming one is to put on top of her head and one's to actually go over the face. Let me see. Although both of them feel like they're just perfect to go on the face, not really over the hair. You saw I had one pair of glasses on before. So the difference in the heads would be one with bubblegum, one without. I'm just going to pop that head off. Put the other one back on. Now that one pops on a little smoother than the other one. I definitely would hit it with a blow dryer when you go put it on. Now she has somewhat of a ab crunch. I guess it would be a torso crunch right here under the boobs, and a waist swivel. Articulation in the hips right there. Now she has, the jean shorts, and it's sculpted there. And right at her thighs, at the top of the jean shorts, you do have a thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, as you can see. And she does have a boot cut swivel there. And articulation, good range of motion on the ankles with the ankle pivot. So overall, she does have a lot of range of motion with the articulation. Good figure overall. If you did not get the previous Jubilee, then this is definitely one that you do want to have, because obviously this is like a classic Jubilee. Let me try set these guys up. I'm actually going to move Jubilee to the back, and we're going to take a look at Beast. All right, so one of the highly sought after figures. Oh, before I get into that, Jubilee comes with one of Caliban's arms. We're going to put him together. All right, so before I get into that, Beast is one of the figures that keeps falling over. And now he fell on Forge. Come on, Forge, just stand. All right, so Beast is one of the sought-after figures from this wave. Him and Jubilee seem to be the hardest to find. Now, everybody's using this Beast to replace their Toy Biz Beast, and it's an updated body. Definitely looks a lot less bulky, I guess you could say. Now, even though he keeps falling over, let's see how he stands. Obviously, he is a larger figure. For the most part, he's been balancing pretty good. Of course, until I put the camera on. You can see he's a larger figure, a little bulkier, stands a little taller than some of the other figures. He's meant to be able to do some crazy poses, I guess you could say, because he's known for flipping around. Now, I do have an extra set of hands. I don't know why they gave us 2 hands on the same, right versus left. You think they'd give us 2 flat hands, but this is what I have here. And I just kind of want to see what I can do as far as posing. Now, I'm no D amazing, so I'm not even going to really try, especially on camera, to get a crazy pose. But he does have, look, he's waving. Hey guys. He does have, you know, a flat hand to do some type of poses, and hopefully later on I could take some pictures. If you're looking for, if you're looking for anything like posing them and getting them, you know, for some good, you know, pictures, photography, take a look at The Amazing. Pretty sure he's probably done something really cool with him, even on camera. So, but as far as the figure itself, I do like the butterfly joints here in the shoulders. Beast is the type of character that you would need those. So that's pretty cool as far as switching out his hands. Overall pretty easy. All right. He doesn't come with any other accessories. He does have the ab crunch. He's got a little under his chest here. You're able to get a little bend there. Head, good range of motion, up, down, side to side. Do wish that he might have came with an alternate head, but that's not the worst case. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and articulated wrist. He's got down here at his thighs, good range of motion in the thighs. Does have upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and he's got some good flexibility in the toes and in the ankles, where you're able, you know, obviously Beast is supposed to be able to get those crouching and crazy poses because of, well, he's Beast. So this does allow for that if you're able to get him into the right position. Next up is going to be Forge. So Forge is the leading Native American team member next to Thunderbird and Warpath. A lot of people have been saying, oh, what is he, Hispanic? Is he Puerto Rican? No, he's supposed to be Native American. He was one of my favorite figures, and actually I made a mistake. I think earlier I said there was not a Forge figure done since the Toy Biz era. There was a legend made of him. I can't remember if it was late Toy Biz or early Hasbro. I believe he came in a 2-pack. Now that I'm thinking about it, that was the last Forge figure that was done. So he has had 2 legends, if I'm correct. I'd have to take a look, but so as far as him, he comes with 2 weapons. He comes with a blaster, a gun to put in his thigh holster, and then he comes with his other little gadget. Now he's like a weapon specialist, and he is a tech guru. So obviously, you know, he's able to put things together as he built his leg. And one of the recent storylines, he helped with Cable and the virus that was eating his body. And so he's their tech guy, weapon specialist, you know. So here, the only thing I don't like about this figure is the little tassel pieces here keep sliding down. And I got to put them there. Obviously, look, this one just popped down. So that's my only complaint about this figure. Again, with the plastic issue, the the brittleness on this figure, you do feel it in the torso and the legs. That's a major complaint that I do have. Again, it does not drastically take away from the figure. It's just, over time, I don't know how that plastic's going to hold up, but I love the figure. Great job. Sculpt, paint apps, everything's pretty much spot on. I do like it. As far as his articulation, basic articulation on the buck, where he has good range of motion in the head, even with the ponytail. He's got an ab crunch, waist swivel. Good range of motion on his arms, even with the holster. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and is able to move his wrist there. Up here in the thighs, even with the thigh holster, good range of motion. It's got a thigh cut. Both you're able to move it. Double jointed knees. There's a little swivel here at the top of the boot. And good range of motion on the ankles. So he does have all the articulation that the figures that share this buck have. One of the things, again, with the plastic is that the ab crunch is a little loose here, you can see. So sometimes when he stands, you kind of have to play with his positioning so that he gets a good standing base there. Next, we're going to take a look at our favorite Raging Cajun. Put Forged it back there. So here is everybody's favorite Raging Cajun, Remy LeBeau. Long time waiting for this figure. Very happy to see him. One thing, hold on. I think, let me see. Forge came with one of the other arms for Caliban. So Remy here comes with his trusty staff. His hand here can be swapped out. Let me pop that. A little tough there. He has another hand where he's able to throw his cards, his charged up kinetic cards, and he has another card here that you could just place into his hand like so. So obviously those are his weapons next to his staff, and he comes with them, so that's great. Really like the playing cards. Nice little touch. This card, I mean, whatever. But with this hand, that was a nice touch. So able to put his hand back in. Those are the accessories that he comes with. He does not come with alternate head or anything, and he does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece. As far as the body, excellent sculpting on the body there. If you know anything about the character, this is his outfit. The head, good range of motion. Again, my only complaint with the plastic, it left his head very light and wobbly. You can see that the head has a nice little wobble there. As far as the range of motion, this is the jacketed body that we've seen. The arms we've seen sometimes like Nick Fury and Blade. It does get stuck in the way a little bit, but for the most part, well, this arm, good range of motion. This one's a little tough, but overall, good range of motion there. He has an ab crunch, and he's got a waist swivel. The legs, good range of motion. Upper thigh, double jointed knees, boot cut, and ankle. So he's got good articulation there. The jacket doesn't take anything away from that. And his bow staff here, or staff, I should say. So overall, excellent figure. They did a very good job. I'm very happy. And honestly, for anybody who buys cases of Legends, I don't even mind having 2 of him because he's, one of my favorite X-Men. So I'm totally cool with having a second Gambit. And he doesn't come with the Caliban piece, the Build-A-Figure piece, but that's okay. All right, let's see. Who else shall we take a look at? So let's take a look up next at Weapon X, Wolverine. Slide him over. All right, so Wolverine here you see is smaller than the other figures, as he should be. He was never, except for maybe one storyline did he have that, like, he was a bigger, menacing type of character. He's a smaller character, but he gets the job done, and always incredibly jacked. So this is Weapon X when he first became Wolverine. It's cool to see this version of him. I believe there was a Toy Biz version in the Legends, and then prior to that, there was 1 or 2 other versions, but they were pre-Marvel Legends. So here we have his claws. He's got his little equipment when he jumps out of his stasis chamber. Now, good detailing on the helmet. I do like it. And he's got little Wolverine chest hair and the detailing there. Now you can remove the head. When you remove the head, you can disconnect the piece for that goes to the helmet. It does pop out. And you can pop on this head. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is, all right, I thought it was sitting on there. It's not. So it seems that this head, you'll have to use the blow dryer as well to get it to sit down on that ball joint. There we go. All right, so I really had to press down to get it to sit on that ball joint. Weapon X also came with a leg piece here. One of our Caliban Build-A-Figure pieces. Next up, we have Blink. As I told you, Blink has become a household name for me. My daughter really liked the Gifted show, and Blink was one of her favorite characters. So when she saw that I now have a Blink Marvel Legend, Blink was about to join the Barbies. So I had to get my hands on her as quick as possible. Now, this is not the Gifted Blink. This is the Age of Apocalypse Blink, which has also seen herself weaving into the other X titles. But this is her Age of Apocalypse look, and I think the last time we got a Blink figure was Toy Biz did a Most Wanted line, I believe, and she was in that line. So she comes with a cool little portal effect that she could jump out of. And she also comes with a Build-A-Figure piece. I just want to make sure I have the right one. She comes with a leg. So she comes with another leg, and then she comes with 2 shards. She has the nice little female buck with her little like draping piece that goes around her. Good job on the sculpting. I think excellent job on the face. Now her upper torso is a little loose. Mine right out the package was kind of loose, and the legs, I did notice an issue. I don't know if that's again from the plastic or just maybe from during shipping. Uh, Besides that, though, very limber female figure. I'm just gonna put her shards down for a second. We'll put those back in her hand. Um, Very easy to pose. She can get a lot of good poses. She has the regular female buck, good range of motion in the shoulders, single jointed elbows, some wrist articulation, good range of motion in the head. She has articulation under there, under the upper torso. She does not have a waist swivel. Good range of motion in the upper thighs. She does have a thigh swivel there, double jointed knees, and articulation here in the ankles. Again, she's supposed to be able to jump through her portals. Maybe like a standing portal would have been a little bit better, but overall it's not bad. And last but not least would be Skullbuster. Now, again, if any of you guys watched any of my interviews with Dwight over the last year or two, you'll know that he's a big fan of the Reavers and wants to get most of the Reavers delivered to us. So I think this is cool to see them. One, they were kind of introduced in Logan, and then, obviously throughout the comics and the years. So this is a nice little small addition, and hopefully, we'll be getting more. I'm just gonna give up on Blink. I'm gonna let her just kind of chill in her portal there, a little hot tub time machine. And so this is a bigger buck, cyborg type of buck. Now, what I would like to see is if this could turn into cyber. That would be really cool. You got the legs here, the arms. Of course, you'd have to smooth some of it down, but I think that would be great. Anyway, we have a little bullet belt there, head, articulation as far as the arms. The shoulder pads get in the way. It is a little bit of a larger figure. He does have an ab crunch, waist swivel here in the thighs. He has a holster where you can put his gun here. His little shorts just don't make any sense, but his shorts with his at his thighs here, upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees. He does have a boot cut and good ankle articulation. And the arms, the bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and the wrist. So good articulation figure overall. And he does come with an alternate head. Let's see how easy his would be. Pop that off. And there you go. So overall, very easy to pop off the head on that and just switch it out. And I think it looks great. And so here we will piece together our Build-A-Figure. Let me see. Just want to make sure we do this right. All right. Now, one thing that I do feel, damn it, they don't stop falling over. All right, there we go. Kind of had to do that. Let's find the head. We do have a headpiece here. that there for a second. And we got our legs. There we go. All right, so here's Caliban. And you see just from looking at him here, this is a much bigger figure. He towers over the other characters, the other figures, and that was actually how he was in like the late '90s when I remember reading the comics. So I'm very happy to get this version of Caliban, especially as we finish our X-Men Blue and Gold teams, and even the X Factor teams and stuff like that. So kudos to Hasbro, to the Marvel team, to Dwight. This is an excellent figure, and I'm actually kind of glad that they made him, because I was going to have a custom made from, I believe it was the Space Venom, because this is pretty much like the Space Venom body there. So I'm very happy to see them make this. I save money not having a custom made, and he still looks pretty dope. So thank you very much. Now, again, my only complaint on it would be the plastic. Plastic is hollow, kind of soft, but it's a $20 figure, and it looks pretty dope. So thank you very much, Hasbro and Litsky crew, for sending these incredibly dope X-Men out to me. I'm very happy. And as I said, guys, keep an eye out in Walgreens, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, your local toy stores, local comic shop, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Dorkside, for your X-Men. And until next time, guys, drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the wave. Let me know if you find them. And until next time, guys, happy hunting.